guys, and welcome to the new episode of Full Throttle. Today we'll show you one of the coolest and most interesting sporty sedans on sale right now. This is the Maserati Ghibli, and we'll show you why it's so special. Let's start with the fact that no BMW, Audi or Mercedes sound like this. Now let's see how this Maserati Ghibli drives. Being a Maserati, this should be the best driving car in the class, and it is for the most part. Because this is a 2013 model, it still has a hydraulic steering which feels very direct and you feel very connected to the car. Unfortunately, in the latest generations, the Maserati has removed the steering for an electric one which is much lighter, and although it's easier to maneuver in town, you don't have this sense of connection between the car and the road. The Maserati feels very analog compared to the German rivals, but you have this gorgeous Maserati sound which it makes you forgive all the car's imperfections. But now let me demonstrate to you the most special feature about the Maserati Ghibli. It's the engine sound that the car makes. You won't find this in any BMW, Audi or Mercedes models, especially not the 2020 models. Let's hear it. Put the car in the sports mode and it does sound like an Italian supercar, which kind of is the point of the Maserati. You have an amazing sound from the engine, and when you put the sport mode on, the car gets really loud on the inside and the outside too. And this alone makes it more special than all the German models, because there is no modern car on sale in this class which sounds like this. Now, without a doubt, the biggest feature this car has is the Maserati brand. Now, whether you like it or not, you can't deny that driving a Maserati is just cooler than driving a BMW, Audi or Mercedes. Maserati is still a very exotic brand, and driving one will get you a lot of attention, and not only that, will get a lot of questions and compliments, even though this car is not more expensive than a BMW 5 Series, which is well spec'd. The Ghibli is one of the most important Maserati models because together with the SUV, which is Levante, they have to bring back the sales back to Maserati. This is the first mainstream Maserati and is the first Maserati with the diesel engine. Now this car is direct competitor to the BMW 5 Series, the Audi A6 and the Mercedes E-Class. The car is sold only in this variant and there is no coupes or other versions of it. And now let's get to how this Maserati Ghibli looks, because this is one of the most important parts of this exotic Italian brand. Of course, the Ghibli is not the prettiest Maserati ever made, and it's not the Gran Turismo, but the car still looks very aggressive, it looks exotic, and of course it looks very different from its German competitors. Here in the front we have the small headlights, which have been updated in a facelift and actually look pretty modern and good, even though they're from 2013. We also have this big Maserati grille, and we have this enormous trident, which is a part of every Maserati model. Overall, the front of the car looks very wide, sporty and aggressive, and because this is a sports car, it is very low to the ground, you have very wide wheel arches. On the side of the car you get these 20-inch grey wheels, which I'm not too sure about, but you also get big Maserati brakes with ventilated discs. You also get this vent right here, which is on every Maserati model, and you get some chrome accents to further say that this is a very special and luxury car. And overall, this is just not the coupe, but you have this swooping roofline in the back, and you have this extended wheel arches which make the car wider and give it more stance on the road. And of course, since this is a Maserati, you also get a badge right here so everybody can know what kind of car you're driving. The back of the Maserati Ghibli is the worst part of the car and is the one people generally don't like. This is mostly due to these rear lights, which kind of resemble a Kia and are definitely not the most beautiful one. Of course, the back of the car is not looking like the Gran Turismo, but it's not that bad. You get quad exhaust pipes, you get this spoiler right here, and overall the car still looks wide and it still looks exotic and different. And now let's get to the heart of this car, which makes it truly special. This is one of the best V6 engines on the market, and it's 3-liter turbo petrol engine. It has 430 horsepower and the car does 0 to 60 in 4.8 seconds. This is the fastest version you can buy right now, but there is a V8 version coming soon, which will have around 600 horsepower. The engine block is from Chrysler, but Ferrari has also worked on the engine, so it has a very sporty touch. And now let's get back to the sound, because this is one of the best sounding cars on the market right now. Modern cars just don't sound like this anymore. Let's hear it. The interior of the Maserati Ghibli is just like the rest of the car. There is more style than function, and here of course you find gorgeous materials such as these leather seats, you have leather on the dash, and you have this gorgeous analog clock. But of course here you don't have the latest technologies. You have this awful gear shift lever which is simply unusable, you have these ugly climate controls, and you have this awful system in the middle which is very old and very bad to use. Even though yes, this car is from 2013, and in the later models this infotainment system is changed, but still is not up to par with Audi's, BMW's and Mercedes' latest systems. But still, people who like Maserati, they don't really care about infotainment systems. They want the gorgeous leather, they want the beautiful steering wheel, they want these analog dials which look amazing, and here you have Alcantara on the roof, and overall you have very high quality materials, even though there are many imperfections in the interior, but that's what makes an Italian car. So for the people who like Maseratis, they'll definitely appreciate the interior. There is much more style and much more charisma than what you get in the BMW, Audis and Mercedes, even though here you don't have the latest technologies, but still you get a very nice interior. Unfortunately, there is not too much space in the back of the Ghibli. You get almost no knee room, and thanks to this roof which goes even lower, you have almost no headroom at all. Even though this is a big car, there is not much space in the back, but you do get these gorgeous seats with the Maserati trident engraved on them. You get a separate climate vent, you get this net right here, and the seats are reasonably comfortable, so it's not a too bad place to be. But also due to the fact that the windows roll only to this position, it means that you feel a little claustrophobic. Still, it's much better to be in the front seat of this Maserati. Even the key of the Maserati Ghibli is very heavy and it feels very expensive to touch and use. It's also one of the most beautiful keys on the market right now. When you want to operate the sunroof, the whole roof of the car starts to shake. Just like in a real sports car, the gear shift paddles are mounted on a steering wheel and they don't move when you turn in. They are also very big, they're aluminum and they feel very good to use. You get these gorgeous analog dials which are one of the most beautiful we have ever seen, and they are much better than all these new digital dashes. This of course isn't the most advanced car in its class. It doesn't have the latest technologies. Here you won't find any self-driving modes or big touchscreens, and you probably can't tell the car to turn your air conditioning off. And of course, since this car is Italian, many things don't work and others simply don't make sense. But in the end of the day, do you really care? Because what the Maserati Ghibli has cannot be measured by numbers. It has a heart, a soul, and as cliché as it sounds, this is something you simply won't find in any of the modern German saloons.